Indianapolis, Indiana, is often called one of the most haunted places in America because of its dark history and restless spirits. The city has old hospitals, historic mansions, hidden tunnels, and large cemeteries filled with tragic stories. Many people report seeing shadow figures, hearing footsteps, and feeling cold spots. From haunted bars to abandoned asylums, Indianapolis is a city where the past never truly sleeps. Now we will visit the most haunted places in Indianapolis. Number 1. Hannah House. Hannah House in Indianapolis, Indiana, is known as one of the most terrifying haunted places because of its tragic and emotional past. Built in the 1850s by Alexander Hannah, the house was used as a secret stop on the Underground Railroad. Escaped enslaved people were hidden inside a cramped attic space. Sadly, legend says that during a surprise search, some of them were trapped without air and died quietly in the darkness. Today, visitors and staff report hearing faint cries, whispers, and knocking sounds coming from the walls and attic. Many people feel sudden cold air, even in warm rooms. Some have seen shadow figures moving quickly, especially near the staircase. One of the most disturbing stories comes from caretakers who heard children laughing, even when the house was empty. Furniture has been known to move on its own, and doors open and close without explanation. Some visitors feel hands brushing against them or experience deep sadness for no clear reason. Unlike other haunted places, Hannah House is haunted not by anger, but by pain, fear, and forgotten voices still asking to be heard. Number 2. Slippery Noodle Inn. Slippery Noodle Inn in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the most famous haunted bars in the United States. Built in 1850, it is the oldest bar in Indiana and has a long, dark history. During the Civil War, the building was used as a stop on the Underground Railroad. Later, it became a place linked to violence, secret deals, and even deaths. Many workers and musicians say they hear footsteps upstairs when no one is there. Glasses sometimes move on their own, and doors open and close without an explanation. One of the most well-known spirits is believed to be a young woman, possibly a former worker, who appears near the upstairs hallway. People report feeling sudden cold chills when she is nearby. Another spirit is thought to be a man in old-fashioned clothing, often seen near the bar late at night. Some musicians claim they have heard extra piano notes playing after everyone has left. Unlike other haunted places, the spirits at Slippery Noodle Inn seem playful rather than violent, quietly reminding visitors that the building's long and secret past is still very much alive. Number 3. Crown Hill Cemetery. Crown Hill Cemetery in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the largest and most haunted cemeteries in the United States. Opened in 1863, it is the final resting place of famous people, soldiers, and thousands of ordinary citizens. With its rolling hills, old tombs, and quiet roads, the cemetery holds many dark and emotional stories. Visitors and night workers often report seeing shadowy figures walking between the graves, especially near the older sections. Some people have seen a woman in a long black dress standing near headstones, who disappears when approached. Others hear footsteps, soft crying, and whispered voices even when the area is empty. One of the most famous stories involves the grave of James Whitcomb Riley. People claim to feel a strong presence near his tomb and hear faint humming or talking. Security guards have also reported lights turning on and off by themselves in the Gothic chapel at night. Many visitors feel sudden cold air, sadness, or the feeling of being watched. Crown Hill Cemetery is haunted not by fear alone, but by memories, grief, and spirits that still walk among the dead. Number 4. James Allison Mansion. James Allison Mansion in Indianapolis, Indiana, is widely known as one of the city's most haunted historic homes. Built in the early 1900s by auto pioneer James Allison, the mansion has a history filled with wealth, illness, and sudden death. After Allison became seriously ill, he spent much of his final years inside the house, and many believe his spirit never truly left. Visitors and staff often report hearing footsteps echoing through empty hallways, especially late at night. Doors open and close on their own, and lights have been seen turning on in rooms with no one inside. One of the most disturbing stories involves the ghost of a young girl. She is often seen near the staircase or balcony, quietly watching people below before disappearing. Some people feel a strong pressure in their chest or sudden sadness when entering certain rooms. Others report cold spots and the feeling of being touched on the arm or shoulder. Security workers have also claimed to hear soft voices calling their names. Unlike many haunted houses filled with anger, James Allison Mansion feels heavy with loneliness. The spirits here seem trapped between the past and present, still walking the halls of their former home. Number 5. Indianapolis Athletic Club. The Indianapolis Athletic Club, located in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, is a historic building known not only for its luxury and sports history, but also for its eerie hauntings. Built in 1924, the club has long been a gathering place for athletes, social events, and important city figures. Over the years, many strange incidents have given it a haunted reputation. Visitors and staff frequently report hearing footsteps in empty hallways late at night. Some have seen shadowy figures in formal suits, believed to be former club members, wandering the upper floors. Doors have been known to open and close on their own, and lights sometimes flicker for no reason. One of the most famous stories involves the ghost of a firefighter who reportedly died in a fire long ago. Witnesses say they feel a sudden chill or the presence of someone standing near them, especially near the old gym and pool area. Members have also claimed to hear voices whispering, laughter, or even objects being moved when no one else is around. Unlike many haunted sites, the spirits of the Indianapolis Athletic Club are said to be watchful and lingering, rather than violent. The building holds the memories of its past members, and their presence continues to give the club an air of mystery and unease. Number 6. Indiana Repertory Theater. The Indiana Repertory Theater in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the city's most haunted cultural landmarks. Built in 1916, the theater has hosted countless performances, but behind the curtains, strange and unexplained events have long been reported. Actors, staff, and visitors alike have experienced paranormal activity over the decades. Many people report hearing footsteps on empty stages and backstage hallways. Some have seen shadowy figures moving across the seats or disappearing suddenly near the dressing rooms. Others hear strange whispers, laughter, or voices calling names when no one else is present. One of the most famous hauntings is said to involve a former theater director who died in the building. Staff claim they have seen a man in old-fashioned clothing watching rehearsals or standing silently in the wings. Lights flicker unexpectedly during performances, and props sometimes move on their own, as if invisible hands are rearranging them. Dressing rooms are also known for cold spots and sudden chills, and some performers report feeling a presence when practicing alone. Unlike aggressive hauntings, the spirits of the Indiana Repertory Theater seem tied to the theater's history, watching over performances and quietly lingering. The building's ghosts are a reminder of the many lives and stories that have passed through this historic theater, making it a truly haunted place. Number 7. The Athenaeum. The Athenaeum, also known as Das Deutsche Haus in Indianapolis, Indiana, is a historic building famous for its German heritage and cultural events. Built in 1893, it has served as a social club, theater, and gathering place for generations. Over the years, the Athenaeum has gained a reputation for being haunted, with many visitors and staff reporting strange occurrences. People often hear footsteps and whispers in empty hallways and upper floors. Some have seen shadowy figures moving quickly across rooms or standing silently near staircases. Doors sometimes open and close on their own, and lights flicker even when no one is inside. One of the most well-known spirits is believed to be a woman in old-fashioned clothing, often seen near the theater or upper floors, quietly watching events or disappearing suddenly. Some visitors report cold drafts and sudden chills, especially near the ballroom and attic areas. Musical instruments, particularly pianos, are said to play notes by themselves, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Unlike violent hauntings, the spirits at the Athenaeum seem watchful and lingering, tied to the building's long history. They appear to be observing the many performances and social gatherings that have taken place over more than a century. The Athenaeum remains a mysterious and haunted landmark in Indianapolis, blending history, culture, and the paranormal. Number 8. City Market Catacombs. The City Market Catacombs in Indianapolis, Indiana, are one of the city's most haunted and mysterious locations. Built beneath the historic city market, the underground tunnels were once used for storage and passageways for goods. Over the years, visitors and workers have reported strange and unexplained activity, giving the catacombs a dark reputation. Many people hear footsteps echoing through the tunnels when no one is there. Others have felt cold spots, sudden chills, or a heavy presence while walking the dimly lit corridors. Shadowy figures are often reported moving quickly across corners, disappearing before anyone can get a clear look. Some visitors hear whispers and murmurs, as if unseen voices are talking just out of reach. One of the most famous stories involves a worker who vanished mysteriously in the tunnels decades ago. Some believe his spirit still wanders the catacombs, searching for a way out. Lights have been known to flicker or turn on and off by themselves, and objects occasionally shift or fall without explanation. Unlike many haunted sites, the spirits in the City Market Catacombs seem restless and curious, observing anyone who enters. The combination of history, underground passages, and unexplained activity makes the catacombs one of Indianapolis's most eerie and haunted locations. Number 9. Indiana State Capitol Building. The Indiana State Capitol Building in Indianapolis, Indiana, is not just a center of government, but also one of the city's most haunted locations. Built in 1888, the historic building has seen decades of political decisions, tragedies, and mysterious events, which many believe have left restless spirits behind. Visitors and employees often report hearing footsteps in empty hallways, especially late at night. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures moving through offices or disappearing suddenly near staircases. Doors sometimes open or close on their own, and lights flicker without explanation. One of the most famous hauntings involves a former legislator who died in the building. Staff have reported feeling a strong presence near his old office, and some say they hear faint voices arguing or calling names when the building is empty. Others report cold spots in certain rooms, sudden chills, or the sensation of being watched during quiet hours. Security guards have also mentioned seeing brief reflections of people in mirrors or windows where no one is present. Unlike aggressive hauntings, the spirits of the state capitol seem watchful and lingering, tied to the history and power of the building. These ghosts are a quiet reminder of the many events, decisions, and lives that have passed through Indiana's most important government building. Number 10. Wheeler Stokeley Mansion. The Wheeler Stokeley Mansion in Indianapolis, Indiana, is a grand historic home that is also considered one of the city's most haunted locations. Built in the 1920s by the wealthy Stokeley family, the mansion was a symbol of luxury and elegance. Over the years, it has also become known for strange and unexplained paranormal activity. Visitors and caretakers often report hearing music from an old piano when no one is playing. Some have seen a tall, shadowy figure in formal clothing standing near the grand staircase or peering out of windows. Others have noticed furniture shifting slightly, as if someone unseen is moving through the rooms. One of the most unusual stories involves a lady in a flowing white gown, believed to be a former Stokeley family member. She is often seen walking the halls late at night, stopping to look out the windows and disappearing when approached. Staff and visitors also report strange reflections in mirrors, showing figures who are not in the room. Unlike other haunted houses, the Wheeler Stokeley Mansion feels peaceful yet mysterious, as if the spirits are tied to the family's past lives rather than anger or malice. Guests often leave feeling both awe and unease, knowing the mansion's history is still alive in its walls. Number 11. Indianapolis Union Station. Indianapolis Union Station in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the city's most haunted landmarks because of its long history of arrivals, departures, and forgotten lives. Opened in 1853, it was once one of the busiest train stations in the country. Thousands of soldiers, travelers, and families passed through its halls, and not all of them ever returned home. Late at night, Workers and hotel guests report hearing rolling suitcase sounds and train whistles, even though no trains run through the station anymore. Some people have seen a man in a long coat and hat standing near the old platforms, staring down the tracks before fading away. Others describe seeing a woman searching the halls, as if waiting for someone who never arrived. One of the strangest stories comes from the former waiting areas, where people hear pages turning, soft crying, and whispered goodbyes. Security staff have reported elevator doors opening by themselves and footsteps following them, only to find no one behind them. Unlike other haunted places filled with fear, Union Station feels sad and quiet. The spirits here seem trapped in moments of waiting, forever searching for trains, loved ones, and journeys that never ended. Number 12. Indianapolis Propylaeum. The Indianapolis Propylaeum in Indianapolis, Indiana, is a beautiful historic mansion that hides a quiet and unsettling haunted reputation. Built in 1890, the building was once a private home before becoming a social and cultural club. Over time, many unexplained events have led people to believe that former residents and guests never truly left. One of the most unusual stories involves a woman believed to be a former owner, often seen standing near the tall windows or walking slowly through the grand rooms. She is described as calm, well-dressed, and silent. Some visitors report seeing her reflection in mirrors even when no one is behind them. Staff members have heard soft piano music drifting through the mansion when no instrument is being played. Others report perfume-like scents appearing suddenly and fading just as quickly. Chairs have been known to move slightly, as if someone carefully sat down and then stood up again. Cold spots are often felt near the staircases and upper floors. Some people feel a gentle touch on their shoulder or the sensation of being watched during quiet moments. Unlike violent hauntings, the Propylaeum feels refined and sorrowful, as if its spirits are reliving elegant memories from a past that refuses to fade away. Number 13. Indiana State Library. The Indiana State Library in Indianapolis, Indiana, is a quiet and historic place that many believe is deeply haunted. Opened in 1934, the building holds millions of books, old documents, and records of people long gone. Some believe the knowledge and emotions tied to these records have left unseen presences behind. Library staff and late-night workers report books sliding off shelves by themselves, even when no one is nearby. Others hear soft coughing, whispering, or the sound of pages turning in reading rooms that are completely empty. Lights sometimes flicker, and computers turn on without being touched. One strange story involves a ghostly librarian figure seen pushing a book cart through the stacks. When approached, the figure fades away, leaving the cart behind. Some visitors also report a strong feeling of being watched, especially in the older archive rooms where historical records are kept. Cold air often appears suddenly between shelves, and people feel chills even in warm rooms. Unlike haunted houses filled with fear, the State Library feels calm but unsettling. The spirits here seem protective, quietly guarding the stories, secrets, and forgotten lives stored within its walls, making it one of Indianapolis's most unusual haunted locations. Number 14. Indiana Medical History Museum. The Indiana Medical History Museum in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the most unsettling haunted locations in the city because of its real medical past. The museum is part of the old Central State Hospital and once served as a pathology building, where autopsies and medical experiments were performed in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Visitors and staff often report strong feelings of fear or sickness as soon as they enter certain rooms. Some people hear metal tools clinking, as if doctors are still working, even though the rooms are empty. Others report seeing shadowy figures in lab coats standing near old examination tables before disappearing. One chilling story involves footsteps circling the autopsy room, followed by the sound of drawers slowly opening and closing. Lights have been known to turn on by themselves, and security staff say alarms sometimes trigger with no clear cause. A few visitors have claimed to hear quiet breathing or low moans, especially near preserved medical equipment. Unlike other haunted places, this museum feels cold and heavy, not emotional or playful. The spirits here seem trapped in routines of unfinished work, forever repeating the painful history of early medicine. The building stands as a reminder that some places never forget what happened inside their walls. Number 15, Garfield Park. Garfield Park in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the city's oldest parks, and many believe it carries a dark and restless energy after sunset. Opened in the late 1800s, the park has seen accidents, crimes, and quiet tragedies that never made headlines. When daylight fades, the peaceful park often feels strangely alive. Late-night walkers and security staff report seeing tall shadow figures moving between trees, especially near the walking paths and open fields. Some people hear running footsteps behind them, but when they turn around, no one is there. Others describe children's laughter echoing near the playground long after the park is empty. One disturbing story involves the conservatory area, where people feel sudden sadness or fear without reason. Visitors have claimed to see a figure standing still under park lights, watching silently before vanishing. Dogs often refuse to walk certain paths, pulling away as if sensing something unseen. Strange mist has been seen rising from the ground on cool nights, forming human-like shapes. Unlike haunted buildings, Garfield Park's spirits seem tied to open land and memories, wandering freely. The park does not feel angry, but uneasy, as if something unseen is always watching from the trees and shadows. Number 16, Madame Walker Theater Center. Madame Walker Theater Center in Indianapolis, Indiana, is a historic landmark known for culture, music, and also unexplained paranormal activity. Built in 1927 by Madame C.J. Walker, the theater was a symbol of success and community. However, many believe that strong emotions connected to its past have left spiritual energy behind. Staff and performers often report hearing soft humming and singing when the building is empty, as if a performance is still happening. Some have seen a well-dressed woman standing in the balcony, believed to be Madame Walker herself, watching over the stage. She usually disappears when lights are turned on. One unique story involves stage curtains moving on their own, slowly opening and closing without any air movement. Actors have felt gentle taps on their shoulders during rehearsals, as if being guided. Dressing rooms are known for mirrors fogging suddenly, even when the air is dry. Unlike frightening hauntings, the energy here feels proud and protective. The spirits at Madame Walker Theater Center seem connected to creativity and legacy rather than fear. Many believe the building is haunted by memories of music, ambition, and applause that never truly faded, making it a peaceful yet mysterious haunted place. Number 17, Indiana Soldiers and Sailors Monument. The Indiana Soldiers and Sailors Monument in Indianapolis, Indiana, stands in the heart of the city as a powerful tribute to fallen soldiers. Built in 1902, the monument honors those who died in war, but many believe the spirits of the past still remain near it. Because of its purpose and history, the hauntings here feel solemn and deeply emotional. Late at night, people walking around Monument Circle report hearing faint marching sounds, even when the streets are empty. Some claim to hear low drum beats or distant bugle calls, especially near the base of the monument. Others have seen misty figures standing still, facing the monument, as if paying silent respect. Security guards have reported sudden drops in temperature near the stone steps and inside the lower areas. Lights have been seen flickering without reason, and shadows sometimes move across the monument when no one is nearby. One unusual story involves footsteps climbing the monument's interior stairs, heard long after visiting hours. Unlike haunted houses filled with fear, this place feels respectful and heavy with memory. The spirits connected to the Indiana Soldiers and Sailors Monument seem peaceful, bound by honor and remembrance, quietly standing watch over the city they once served. Number 18, Edna Collins Bridge. Edna Collins Bridge in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the city's most frightening haunted locations, surrounded by dark legends and chilling silence. The bridge became famous because of the tragic story of Edna Collins, a young woman said to have died nearby under mysterious and violent circumstances many years ago. Since then, the area has never felt peaceful. Drivers and visitors report seeing a female figure standing on or near the bridge, especially late at night. She is often described wearing old-fashioned clothing, staring down at the water below. When people slow down or look again, she suddenly disappears. Some drivers hear soft crying or screaming coming from the darkness, even when the road is empty. One of the most disturbing stories comes from people who stop their cars. They claim to feel their vehicle shake slightly, as if someone unseen is leaning against it. Others hear knocking sounds on the windows, but find nothing outside. Cold air suddenly fills the area, even during warm nights. Unlike haunted buildings, Edna Collins Bridge feels dangerous and lonely. The spirit here seems trapped in the moment of her death, forever replaying her final fear. The bridge remains a place locals avoid after dark, filled with sorrow and dread. Number 19, Lockerbie Square Historic District. Lockerbie Square Historic District in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the city's oldest neighborhoods, and many believe it is quietly haunted by the people who once lived there. With its brick streets, gas-style lamps, and Victorian homes, the area feels frozen in time, especially after dark. Residents and late-night walkers report hearing horse hooves on the brick roads, even though no horses pass through the district anymore. Some have seen figures in 1800s clothing walking slowly along the sidewalks before fading into the night air. Porch lights sometimes turn on by themselves, and doors have been found unlocked after being securely closed. One unsettling story comes from several homes where people hear chairs moving or dishes softly clinking, as if families are still living their daily lives. Others describe smelling coal smoke or old perfume that appears suddenly and then disappears. Windows sometimes show reflections of faces when no one is inside the house. Unlike haunted mansions or cemeteries, Lockerbie Square feels like a living neighborhood haunted by memory. The spirits here do not scare. They linger quietly, repeating ordinary moments from their past lives, making the entire district feel gently watched and deeply unsettling. Number 20, Central State Hospital. Central State Hospital, former grounds in Indianapolis, Indiana, is one of the city's most notorious haunted locations. Established in the 1840s, the hospital was home to thousands of patients with mental illnesses at a time when treatment was often cruel and misunderstood. Many people believe the suffering and tragedy that occurred here left lingering spirits. Visitors and explorers report hearing faint screams, crying, and whispers in empty halls, even though the buildings are abandoned. Some claim to see shadowy figures in hospital gowns moving through broken corridors or disappearing behind walls. Others have felt cold spots and sudden chills in rooms where no one has entered for decades. One of the most unsettling stories involves the basement of the pathology building, where people feel a heavy, oppressive presence. Explorers report hearing metal sounds and dragging noises, as if unseen hands are moving equipment or cages. Some even feel brushes on their arms, like invisible patients walking past them. Unlike other haunted sites, Central State Hospital feels oppressive and sorrowful. The spirits here seem tied to pain and unfinished suffering rather than anger or playfulness. Walking through the grounds leaves many with a sense of unease, as if the echoes of the past are still trapped inside the crumbling walls.